What's the most depressing place you have traveled to? Number 1. Stopped to get gas in Baker, California on a road trip. I couldn't help but think of that quote from True Detective: "This is like someone's memory of a town, and that memory is fading." Number 2. I worked for a while very near a Native American reservation, one of the very poor reservations. I'm a firefighter and we'd respond onto the reservation somewhat frequently for fires or medical emergencies, and it was just insane to me how impoverished these people were. It felt like I was walking around a third world country, and just a few miles away were people so wealthy they created a private road from the local airport to their gated community because they didn't want to drive on the roads with the poors anymore. Number 3. I'm registered nurse who volunteered in health services with the American Red Cross. It's really daunting and depressing working at disaster site, especially when you arrive right after the incident. Number 4. Pripyat, Ukraine, near Chernobyl, was one of the most depressing places I've ever visited. The abandoned apartment buildings, schools with children's toys left behind, and an eerie silence made it feel like time had stopped after the nuclear disaster. It was haunting to see how life had been completely erased from an entire city. Number 5. When I went into a casino for the first time, I decided that it would be a place I'd have no business with. Rows and rows, beyond sight, of slot machines. Random chance designed to bring more potential profit to the house than the users. And every seat was full. And nobody smiled. They all just stared at the slot machines and pulled levers for that next chance at a big win. It was dark, crowded, and I saw not one person having fun. Just flashy lights and loud carnival-sounding noises coming from the machines to set the atmosphere and make people think the place was a happy and fun location. And you know, some of them are just there to spend money to feel that quick high, and know damn well they are unlikely to even break even. But a lot of them are legitimately addicted to it, and you know they are draining countless thousands for that chance to win big, and any numbers person could tell you in an instant it is not worth it. It made me very sad, seeing so many people being taken advantage of. More people than I can count sitting in front of those machines, and again, none of them were smiling. Please remember, maybe a couple times you will talk into a casino and play slots and make a profit. But only spend what you are willing to lose, and always remember the house always wins. Number 6. I went to Atlantic City for the weekend during the winter with some friends one time. Dark, gray, drab, reeked of cigarettes and desperation. And just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, I started feeling under the weather, so I took a Greyhound bus home that Saturday night. Let me tell you, the people who leave AC on a Saturday are not a happy bunch. Number 7. Westbury. It's a town in southern England, Wiltshire I think, and I don't have anything against it. It just happened to be the train station I was always at 10 p.m. traveling home. I went between Southampton and Exeter a lot at the time, and it always made me depressed. Maybe it was the closed cafe that looked like it would be nice when it's open, maybe it was the hanging baskets of flowers under moonlight and artificial light, maybe I was just homesick, but the place always made me sad. Number 8. When I went to America, Hollywood during the day. Fuck me. So dirty. Homeless people everywhere. Absolutely rammed with tourists, but so depressing as it looks like utter shit, like literal filth. If it's like that during the day, I don't even want to imagine what it's like at night. Number 9. Psych ward of a children's hospital. Heard kids just sobbing and pleading to go home. A depressing circle of kids singing Count on Me by Bruno Mars's. Had to go there a few times for a project. Cried on the drives home. Number 10. Honestly, it would probably be Las Vegas. Went once with friends, not a big gambler, but I like Texas Hold'em. Went to a casino a little off the strip with a friend and witnessed some depressing shit in a short period of time. A full-grown man crying at the blackjack table, a woman who apparently pissed herself at a slot machine instead of getting up, and just some sketchy people. The worst was probably seeing the hordes of elderly just pumping money into the slot machines non-stop. Just continuous button pushing with little to no expression on their face. Literally hitting the buttons as fast as they could. Number 11. Among places I have visited, Cairo, Illinois. I drove through there once as a detour, accident on I-24. Desolate, abandoned, and decayed. Not a single living being was seen driving through that town. East St. Louis, Illinois, not as desolate compared to Cairo since it is across the river from St. Louis, Missouri, but it gives the impression of urban and economic decay. The city having a reported high crime rate probably deters people from visiting. Among places I have lived, Kirksville, Missouri. The town itself is not necessarily a bad place, but it feels so isolated from the rest of the country. It was very easy to feel depressed when living there, especially during the winter. On the plus side, autumn was comfortable and beautiful. Number 12, I worked in Rawlins, Wyoming, years ago. Still describe the 2 months I was there as the longest 8 years of my life. Desolate, drunken, and cliquish, for no reason that I could discern. The number one employer was a state prison. The wind blew constantly, stopping only to change direction. Shockingly, I've not returned. Number 13, the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. Entire place was unnerving and had a sinister feel as you walked through. Can't imagine what an actual former campsite in Europe would feel like.